Hope things are going well with you. We are on to day 23, and for today's video I'm actually departing from the prompt a little bit, well, a lot, because prompt 23 is about stockings and that tradition and whatever the stocking tradition is in your home, and the things that I want to write about in that kind of subject this year. I want to wait until the stockings are actually up after little one is asleep on Christmas Eve. So I decided I would show you today one technique that I'm going to use with a handful of single photos that don't end up in an entry that I want included in my album. So this is a little way to mix your Christmas journal with that idea of past and present, and then taking things that may not fall under one specific prompt this year, which is absolutely fine, but it's part of this Christmas and you want to put it in into your album this year. So that's what I'm doing. I've printed this photo from meeting up with a friend as a 4x6 print, but it's a portrait, so that means I can't just use it in a pocket like this. And I'm going to make it its own little page by using a 6x8 page protector and then sewing it to fit. And one side is going to be embellishment and the other side is going to be the photo. So I'm using a 4x6 Project Life card with the gold foil. And then I've cut this, which was a 4x4 block, and I've just cut a little bit off the edges so that I can center it on the Project Life card and still have that frame around the edge so it doesn't go all the way across. And that was a terrible job at laying that down straight. Let's try that. Now what I wanted to do was to use this little transparent frame over the top of this word with a little bit of dimension so that it's picked up like this. But that means in order to put pop dots underneath it, I need something on top that will cover up the pop dots. So I've chosen some little die cuts. I'm going to use this little peppermint down here in the corner, and I'm going to use my transparent word stickers from Pink Paisley. I think I'll run it underneath the peppermint actually, so maybe I did that in the wrong order. Pull this out again. Let's try this. There we go. And at the top I'm going to use this Fair Isle print star. So now I can put some pop dots just underneath these spots here, and that will give me the dimension I wanted so that the transparent frame is just lifted up a little bit above that word in the background. That is just a little too far. Try again. Okay. So I want to center the frame over the word. And then I thought I would also bring in some of the little star sequins. Just overlap them. That I was looking to see if I wanted to fit the Y in the little indent of the star, but I preferred placing it down here, which gives me that tiny little horizontal line underneath the LY of Jolly so that it's more like a grounding element. But now I have a tiny, tiny, tiny little bit of glue I need to get off the die cut. There we go. And a couple more of those, and this side will be finished, and then the other side is just going to be the photograph. So I have two there and a little triangle, so I think put one flat on the background here. And now I have a little triangle that frames the word. Okay, so then nice and easy photos going on the other side. And I'll need to round the corners of the photo to match the Project Life card because Project Life cards have rounded corners. I am just going to leave the corners rounded this time. Sometimes I try to adapt the Project Life cards so that they have straight corners because I prefer that look. But with the odd standalone 4x6 in between the pages, I think that's okay. I don't think it's going to bother me. If it does, I'll come back and update you later. So, photo on one side, which I've just managed to get glue on. Brilliant. And then into the page protector. And I'm going to sew around the photo to make the custom size that I want. So I'm just going to figure out where it needs to go. I think I'd like it centered rather than down here at the bottom. So I think the best way for me to do that is to just indent the page protector with the space where I want to sew. And for that I normally use a pencil or the end of a pencil because I just want to make a line here that I'll be able to see. Okay, and then I'm going to sew those two lines on my sewing machine and cut off the extra plastic, and then it will sit in here in its own little pocket. Now, admittedly, this is the sort of thing that the fuse tool is invented for, but if you have been watching the videos from the beginning, there were a few times when I made a page protector to fit a certain item at the beginning, and I decided I liked the look of the stitching rather than the fuse. So I want to keep that consistent, so I wanted to keep coming back to that idea. Right, so I'll go sew this, and you can see how it looks when it's done. All stitched, and I wanted to show you something before I cut this, and that was that I could see the indented line here at my desk, but when I went to my sewing machine, the light's not as good there, and I couldn't see it. So I just marked off the line with washi tape so that then I could follow it really easily under that tiny light on my sewing machine without any trouble. And now I can take the tape off and cut the page protector down to size. Moment of truth that it fits. Yes. Just take these little threads down to have it shorter. And then I have my tiny little page to go in between the others. So this is a technique that I'll be using a few times as I go through my photos toward the end of the month, looking at any pictures that I know I want to include in this year's journal, but they don't necessarily fit in any of the themes that I was including in my writing, and I'll be able to just tip them in between the pages. I hope that helps and gives you a little idea if you have photos that are the same. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.